Okay, so I keep talking about the 6 human needs, and a lot of people have questions. What are they? Are you full of shit? Are you just talking out of your ass? The truth is, no. I've done the homework before. I've done a workshop a long time ago to pretty much help me get my shit together. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not saying that I'm going to stop. I'm going to keep working this stuff. But the 6 human needs are not desires. This is an old excerpt from the old homework I used to have, and it states that they are psychological needs that we consistently work on satisfying on both a conscious and unconscious level of awareness. So these 6 human needs influence your deepest motivations and determine how you go about prioritizing your decisions, actions, everything about your life. In fact, every single day, you're unconsciously striving to meet these needs with varying levels of success. So, for example, I'll briefly go over them. They're quite simple. I've been picking at it for a long time, but the 6 human needs are: number one, the need for certainty. So here you are striving to experience comfort and gain a level of certainty in your life. Less pain, more pleasure. This helps you minimize both stresses of uncertainty, which is a second human need. Because if everything was the fucking same and you know everything that was going to happen step by step, you pretty much forecasted the whole thing, you would go fucking crazy and this life will be goddamn boring. But the need for uncertainty is here you are striving for a little variety and uncertainty in life. This helps you relieve boredom, predictability, and stagnation. Now, what's a good example of uncertainty? A flat tire on the road. People call that problems, but you got to see shit as it is, not as worse as it could be. I mean, that's the trick, though. I mean, a lot of tragedy is uncertainty. So, you kind of have to really, and this is the part that I'm working on personally, is the psychological and emotional fitness part of these 6 human needs. I'm not perfect, but I'm just sharing you what I'm gathering here. Number 3 is the need for significance. Here you are striving to gain a sense of significance and importance in other people's eyes. Your objective is to create a sense of identity. What happens when you lose your identity? It's happened to me before with work, and it's fucking detrimental. I mean, you feel like there's no light at the end of your tunnel. It's pretty fucking tragic. But the simplest, I know in the workshops before they've talked about this, the easiest way to feel significant is through violence. So, I mean, if you pull a strap on somebody, instantly you become significant from 0 to 100, man. But that's why violence will continue to exist, because, that's the quickest way to feel significant, to feel special, like you're worthy of something. Number 4, the 4th need is the need for connection. So here you are striving to make deep connections with people. You have a need to belong, like in a tribe or in a relationship, to be loved and to be loved by others. So significance and connection go hand in hand big time. Actually, those first 4 needs are the needs of the ego, the needs of the personality. Because the last 2 are the needs of the spirit, which is the need for growth, which is the 5th one. Here you are striving to learn, experience, and grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in a variety of ways throughout your life. If you're not growing, you're dying. That's basically how it works. It's just like a plant. It's just like a tree. If it doesn't get nurtured, it dies. Number 6 is the need for contribution. So here you are striving to contribute to something greater than yourself. This is all about adding value to other people's life. So one of the old workshops, for example, I know I bite off of Tony Robbins a lot because he really has a big focus on this. But Chloe Madanes, which is Dr. Chloe Madanes, is another one that he teamed up with that I've known about her work a long time ago when I was going to attempt to be a psychology major, which failed miserably. But what happens is when you develop something, when you grow, when you build something, you don't always have your self-interest in mind. You want to either contribute to somebody else, have it help, like, for example, medical technology, the medical field. They developed this technology to help other people. The internet, I mean, Google, I'm pretty sure that was the biggest example that he used, is that at first they were going to sell the technology as opposed to growing a fucking culture, because now Google is used for almost everything. I think if I'm going to go out on a limb and say 9 out of 10 search engines are Google searched. It could be more. I don't know. It could be less, but I know that I am a Google centric person. So, yeah, that's just a breakdown. But then they go into class behaviors. This is very interesting. I'm touching base on this, but apparently there's 4 classes of behavior. Class 1 is typically characterized by actions that concurrently lead to both a short and long-term pleasure. These behaviors feel good, are good for you, are good for others, serve the greater good. Self-sacrifice and the act of giving love to another person both fall into a class 1 behavior type. So apparently there's no pain associated with this kind of behavior. Instead, you are rewarded with short and long-term pleasure as a result of your actions. The behavior, therefore, feels good, is good for you, is good for others, because you're helping add value to their life. And it serves the greater good of all concerned. This is primarily what you would typically want to spend most of our time. However, unfortunately, life doesn't always work that way. We are not living in a utopian society, which is very true. As such, we will need to also work through the remaining 3 classes of behavior. Now, I won't go through all 3 because I'll go straight to the last one, which is class 4. Class 4 is characterized by short and long-term pain. This is a self-sabotaging behavior that does not feel good, isn't good for you, isn't good for others, and does not serve the greater good. The emotions of stress, worry, and anger are all typical examples that fall into this category. I'm guilty of that. I'm pretty sure you are as well. I'm owning up to it. Staying in a bad relationship or career, a bad or really shitty fucking job, are 2 decisions that also reflect this class of behavior. Wow, I didn't know that. All of these examples do not feel good. They are not good for you. They are not good for others. And they certainly don't serve the greater good of all concern. So indulging in a class 4 behavior means that you're choosing to experience short-term pain in order to experience even more long-term pain in the future. Does that even make sense? Fuck. Yeah, I know. Yeah, more than a handful that are like that. And it gives an example. For example, when you're angry, you're hurting yourself by losing your temper. That would be me. Not only does this put you on edge emotionally, but it can also damage your relationships and health. Yes, absolutely. In this example, you are choosing short-term pain to subsequently experience more pain in the future. This obviously doesn't make any rational sense. However, it's a typical class of behavior that we tend to indulge in more times than we care to admit. So I'll leave it at that. I'm reading more about that because I want to know what it all means. Here, moving on out, with key insights into decision-making processes and whatnot. Because instead of making decisions unconsciously, I want to be able to choose what to do or focus on based on the consequences of the pain and pleasure principle, which is what I'm about to read about right now. So, yeah, that's a basic synopsis. I haven't really finished all this because I need to make time for it because I got shit to do. I work. But, yeah, that's the first half of what I'm reading. So hopefully you can join me independently.